It's day one of Duskmourn here on Arena, and we are going to play the most popular commander, apparently, coming out of this set. It's the Jolly Balloon Man. Sounds fun, right? Let's try it. Welcome to the Attic Manadad here. It's the channel where we explore what's fun in Magic, mostly on MTG Arena on Arena. It's day one of Duskmourn. Just got the new cards. The first deck I built is this Brawl deck, Jolly Balloon Man. Really curious why everybody is so excited about this card. So let's dig in and find out. This was a hard deck to build too. I'd make so many cuts. There are a lot of cards that work with Mr. Jolly Balloon Man. Legendary creature, human clown, 1/4 haste. 1 in tap, create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control, except it's a 1/1 red balloon creature, in addition to its other colors and types, and it has flying, and it has haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay. Take that in. What we want to do is we got the deck stacked with creatures that have ETBs, enter the battlefield abilities, that have death triggers because we're also sacrificing those tokens. And we're going to take advantage of also sacrificing the tokens ourselves before the auto sacrifice happens, so we can cash those tokens in for value. So here's what I'm thinking. Not having played this yet, I'm doing the deck tech before I play this. It's 1/4 haste. I think we want to wait till we have 4 mana. Then we cast it, we tap it, and we're copying something immediately turn 1 before opponent has a chance to stop that. So that's what I'm thinking. Let's look at some other cards from Duskmourn that are in here. Clockwork Percussionist, 1/1 haste. I think this card is going to be seen a lot in Constructed, at least in Standard. It's when it dies, you exile the top card of your library, and until the end of your next turn, you can play that. So when we make a copy of this, it's essentially 1 mana, draw a card that we can play. Impulse a card. Also, Split Skin Doll. Because we have so many small creatures, 2/1 coming in, it's gonna draw us a card because you have to discard the card unless we control another creature with power 2 or less. But we're probably gonna have another creature with power 2 or less. That's the goal. And even if it does come in and we have to discard a card, that's still looting us through the deck and seeing what we get. Piggy Bank, 2 mana 3/2 dies into a treasure. Great one to copy. Arabella. We're not necessarily copying Arabella, but if we're going wide with creatures, this 1/3, when it attacks, deals X damage to each opponent. We gain X life, where X is the number of creatures we control with power 2 or less. So make a balloon of something else, attack with Arabella, do a bunch of drain. Jolly Balloon Man itself is power 2 or less. Living Phone is a power 2 or less thing. When it dies, we're going to look at the top 5 cards of a library, grab a small creature. Enduring Innocence. Whenever a creature with power 2 or less enters, draw a card. Triggers only once a turn, but that's fine. Copy, draw the card. If it dies, it's going to come back as an enchantment. That won't work when it's a token, but the actual card will do that. Split Up. This is just a board wipe. Destroy. We're hopefully just turning our whole team to the side. So we just destroy all untapped creatures. Get in. Or, get in. Destroy all untapped creatures. I don't know. Maybe this is not the best board wipe. You can put in, Settle the Wreckage or something else. Also got our Raucous Carnival, our 13 or less life untapped land. This is a common. Definitely collect a playset of these. They're good. The first common dual land that can enter untapped. Maybe less often in Brawl and Commander, but All right, what else have we got? There's so many things that work with this deck. I will just go through them quickly. Guide of Souls is going to gain us life as these creatures enter. We can start getting up energy. All State of Life's Bounty, we can sacrifice it to protect something. So nice to make a token copy of that. Dauntless Bodyguard, similarly, we can sacrifice to protect something. We can, make a copy, give something protection. This dies into a creature with flying. Ephemerate to get those ETB values twice. Hunted Witness, when it dies, 1/1 soldier token with lifelink. Legion's Landing is also going to flip and make a bunch of little creatures, Novice Inspector, and Thraben Inspector, 1/2 that makes us a clue. When it ETBs, Selfless Savior, again, more protection. I'm assuming we're going to need a lot of protection. Spikefield Hazard, we got a lot of these, MDFC lands in the deck. Unlucky Witness also is going to die into a card. Voldaren Epicure does a damage, makes a blood token. Dawnbringer Cleric, we can blow up enchantments, gain life, or exile cards from a graveyard. A Johnny is going to make a cat, and of course, if we copy a Johnny and then it dies, we can exile it, turn it into a Planeswalker. We can start nugging creatures with the 0 ability. We can start putting +1 counters on our cats. Pretty good. Farmhand's going to draw us a Plains. Bounty Agent. This one was almost cut, but I'm going to try it out. 2/2 Vigilance, tap, sacrifice, destroy target legendary permanent. That's an artifact, creature, enchantment. Now, of course, if we've already got Jolly Balloon Man down, the problem with Bounty Agent is your opponent can see it coming and you can't tap, sacrifice it immediately. But if we've got Jolly Balloon Man, we play our Bounty Agent. It's summoning sickness, but we copy the Bounty Agent and make a balloon version of it. Then we tap, sacrifice that, blow up their legendary creature, which often their commander will be. So should have a number of targets with that. Gateway Express, you probably know this from the Convoke deck. Comes down, removes, buffs the whole team once we attack with 3 creatures. Cathar Commander, we can sacrifice to blow up an artifact or enchantment. Charming Prince and Charming Scoundrel. We got the charms on a creature. They ETB, do lots of good stuff. We've got a ton of humans in the deck, including our commander. So we got Coppercoat Vanguard for a little bit of extra protection, and Thalia's Lieutenant for a little bit of extra buff. Intrepid Adversary is going to buff the whole team, whether they're humans or not. Ossification for removal. We don't have a ton of removal, but you see at the 3-drop slot, there's some little tricks we've got here. Razorgrass Ambush, if I can speak, also removal. Deck list is in the description, and you can jump ahead to the gameplay if you got the idea. But we'll keep going through. Resolute Reinforcements is going to make an extra creature, and we got the Goblin version of that. Goblin Instigator is going to come in, bring a creature. This, of course, is Flash, which is nice. Dark Dweller Oracle, we can sacrifice our extra creatures to start, flipping them into cards. Bloodthirsty Adversary, we can, when it enters, we can pay 2 and a red any number of times, and then we're going to be able to copy spells from a graveyard, which we don't have a ton, but Direfleet Daredevil, this is another interesting one I came up with to put in this deck. When it enters, we exile an instant or sorcery from opponent's graveyard. So opponents are running a lot of removal. We'll be able to bop this in, steal some of their removal, copy it, steal more removal. Should be pretty good. Goblin Bombardment, of course, if we get opponents low enough, we sack our whole board, kill them with Goblin Bombardment. Impact Tremors is going to do a similar thing, but it's as creatures enter, boom, boom, boom. Those constant pings are going to add up, hopefully. Goblin Oriflamme, attacking creatures getting +1/+0. That will hopefully also add up. Crater Maker, I don't know if we hit this one yet, can sack to destroy a colorless non-land permanent. So again, all those mana rocks. Lightning Helix, it's a white-red deck. You want to run it. Arcane Signet, Cold Steel Heart, a cut, Mind Stone, another 2 mana rock. But there's just not room. There's just too many fun things to play. Anointed Peacekeeper, we're going to try to make the board wipes cost too much and win before they play them. Brutal Cathar, again, only exiles a creature until it leaves the battlefield, but because we're hopefully just swinging in, making a copy, and just removing blockers with that, hopefully we'll be pretty strong. Kind of feeling the same thing with Skyclave Apparition, but that of course can hit any non-land permanent, mana value 3 or less. Hanged Executioner, it's a bit expensive, but it's going to come in, it's going to make a 1/1 white spirit, and then we can exile it to exile target creature. And so if we copy it, so for 5 mana, we get a repeatable exile a creature on opponent's board, as long as we got Jolly Balloon Man in play, which is pretty good. Lauren blows up artifacts or enchantments. Sanguine Evangelist, another one from the Convoke deck, makes a bat. Battle Cry is going to buff our whole team. When it dies, it's going to make a bat. So again, copy it, sacrifice it. Welcoming Vampire is going to trigger, draws cards. Guardian of Faith, this is an interesting one. I will see what the rules engine does, but I believe if we phase out our token, then the trigger to sacrifice it at the end step doesn't happen when it's phased out, and then it just gets to stick around. So we'll have that possibility. We can also just copy the Guardian of Faith if we feel like, opponent's gonna do a board wipe next turn or whatever. Just protect our team, phase out the whole team, and then it comes back, and opponent can't kill any stuff for a whole turn. Brea's Apprentice, we're going to be able to sacrifice artifacts to draw cards, including the Thopter that it makes as it comes in. Imidane's Recruiter, you know it, you love it if you've played Standard. +1/+0 and haste to the whole team. There's also a adventure side that makes some knights. Maybe not relevant, but could be in a long game. Flage, I thought I'd throw Flage in here. We can copy it. The copy's going to die immediately, but that doesn't matter because we get essentially a repeatable Lightning Helix. War Leader's Call, again, like Impact Tremors, we're dealing damage and stuff is coming in, and it's buffing our whole team +1/+1. We got this MDFC that's also an ETB, blow up an artifact or enchantment creature, so thought I'd throw that in there. Solitude, of course, evokes, and Fury evokes. If we actually get to keep them in play, their ETB abilities are just sick. I mean, Swords to Plowshares on a body and dealing 4 divide however you choose, and being able just to repeat that with the Jolly Balloon Man over and over again is pretty good. I also was thinking, what can I do to untap the Jolly Balloon Man so we can get more than one trigger a turn? And I thought, oh yeah, Virtue of Loyalty. First of all, just make a 2/2 knight creature token with vigilance, instant speed. That's great. But then the enchantment side, at the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and then untap those creatures. But you know what? Actually, this is a sorcery speed. So I take that back. That's not going to get us 2 per turn, but that's okay. That's okay. It's still good value. And just a ton of lands. You can look over it in the deck list. Let's go to the matchups and see the Jolly Balloon Man in action. How jolly is he?
Hey, it's me, Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Actually, haunting and overlording are just my hobbies. My day job is managing the YouTube algorithm. I try to make sure lots of negative, conspiracy-laden clickbait shows up in your feed. You know, nightmare fuel. Whatever you do, don't like, comment, or elder gods forbid, subscribe to a channel like this one, okay? We don't need your feed filled up with people who genuinely enjoy playing Magic like this so-called Manadad. He puts deck lists and other useful links in the description. He even shows real win rate stats at the end of the videos. Yikes. Clicking on positive, helpful videos takes away from the time I could be spending haunting woods or putting my friend Writhing Chrysalis into draft boosters. But you don't have to take it from me. 9 out of 10 players who want to unban grief agree. Now let's see. What is your racist uncle clicking on today? He has impeccable taste. Let me send some of those videos your way.
Okay, might just be a 1-game video. Gotta sneak in a game here. Between dinner, getting the kids to bed. I got other stuff to do. Was I confused? I kind of thought these usually come out on Wednesdays. When do they release on a Tuesday? That new? Up against Kenrith. Ooh. Often a very powerful commander. We don't really have removal. Very much removal. That's not going to kill Kenrith. Give it a shot, though. Oh. Thought that was the one that comes into play untapped. Already screwed this up.
From the end zone, he punts it. Oh my goodness, this could be the longest punt in Super Bowl history.
I don't think I've been that excited for a punt. What a punt.
So next turn, play like Cleric, Inspector. We should have a couple options of things to copy. Turn 4. 1, Opponent has not played a thing. They're just gonna board wipe us. Gain 2 life and lose 3 next turn. Solemn Simulacrum! That's a good card for this deck that we don't have in here. Saw that on EDH Rec. Ooh, okay. Don't have to play the Witch Enchanter. And that destroys an enchantment. So I guess we'll just copy Mr. Inspector Man. Attack. Attack. Ah, we did have a board wipe. Womp womp. Well, I won't exactly scoop, but I don't know how best way to win here. Anything else in the graveyard we would cast? I guess Strike It Rich. Like Kenrith Control over here. Not ideal for a quick game. We'll see how resilient Mr. Balloon Man is. Big score. Okay. Filthy Rampers. Hitting land drops, that's good. Back. Another board wipe. They board wipe again. They put something huge in the graveyard. They got Thassa. They reanimate. Living Phone. Counterspell. Do some damage here. Can kill any of their choice. Please kill the Living Phone. Target player draws a card. Okay, that's a good sign. Get me within Lightning Helix range, please. With Kenrith. 3 mana, gain 5 life. They got a lot of mana. We need 10 mana to Jolly Balloon Man Wrath of God to get Kenrith off the board, and then they just recast it again. Okay, he left himself to gain 5 life. Yeah, okay. I think we might have this, depending on what they can do with this last treasure. Oh! Kenrith goes down! Balloon Man! Wah, 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 wah. Hitting you with balloons. Gonna try to sneak one more, just to see the balloon boy in action. The Balloon Man, alright. My father was the Jolly Balloon Man. The Jolly Balloon Son. It's based on It, right? I've never seen It or read It. Oh, jeez. Getting matched up against Italy. Okay, I guess his commander is in one of the higher queues already. Grabs. Grabs into Scoundrel. We make a treasure. 2 or more other lands. Okay. Aha. Turn 2, 3 creatures attacking. What say you, opponent? I'm gonna ramp for the next 7 turns. No, just look the next 3 turns, right? That's all it takes. Get a tally going. Signet. There's a start. Oh, wow, it's a Ragavan, okay. Well, we could Solitude. Well, we can't Solitude, actually. Yeah, we'll attack with all these. Oh, there's my brother. Deck 972. That's right. I got a trophy already in draft, first draft. You can watch it. There's 2 videos. Got the first 5 games in, then I got to go to preschool. Pick up one of my daughters. We go white, I guess, because we have Solitude and stuff. They've actually got... What do we want to do? Attack you for 1. Had fun with blue-green. It's because you want to see me chat with my brother. Don't you? Oh, Charming Prince. Does that blow up an artifact? No. It can blink something else, or it can gain some life or scry. Manifest Dread. Judge Dredd. I should make some Judge Dredd memes. Everybody remember the good Judge Dredd?
That which cannot protect itself. Rise, my elemental friend.
Well, how about... Evoke Solitude. Get rid of your land. I'll slow him down a bit.
those away before we get a chance. Blink it. What should we blink? I want to hit land drops, so I don't know. Let's just make some more. We can hit a land drop. Oh, yes indeed. Cool. It's got 3 mana, but this reduces and lets them play lands from the top of their library. I was actually lucky that they animated their forest, right? Was that a forest? It was. Delina! It's got an interesting deck here. They're not just ramping into Atali. Actually, they're actually playing other creatures.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
Huh. Well, we've got the Grazer to block here. We'll just start drawing. Goblin Oriflamme. That will be useful eventually. Test my Guardian of Faith theory. See if this keeps it around. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get the power. Why not? There's Atali. Oh, that's a different Atali. Okay.
Behold nature's true power.
Just blessing this without. I think we can hit some removal. Loran. Well, that does blow up their Signet, but it's a bit late. Percussionist flips ossification. We do have to take an attack from Atali, though. Halfling. Maybe we don't have to take an attack from Atali. What are you going to do, opponent?
I do not have time for this. I do not have time for you.
Eternal.
They just ulted Nissa. How many forests do they have in their deck, though? They don't seem to be running that many. Should sort them all into one area, so it shouldn't take them this long to grab the forests. I wonder if they're realizing they didn't put any forests in their deck. Oh, okay, they did. They have a ton of them. Stomping Ground, Sheltered Thicket. They just had to find those. And 8 snow covered. Delina might be good in this deck. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Gosh. Yep. Utali. Utali triggers. Hit my living phone and they hit a Swiftfoot Boots. Yikes. If we can flip something. Flip me something good. Signet. Not so much. Okay. Protecting Delina. And a Reclusive Taxidermist for good measure. Okay. Well. Wonder if we can. And the Recruiter, and we can copy one thing. Blow up the Swiftfoot Boots. Or do we just copy a creature that copies a creature? Let's go all in. This is what the deck can do if you're not playing against Italy. Swing out with a huge board. They just chump a bunch of these and then play Italy in there. Bob's their uncle. They don't have to block that many. We need attacking creatures. You get control, get +1/+0, and trample is what we need. How much did you get through for? Not even that much. All right.